We shift our focus to this now. Allegations of corruption within the SAPS and the fallout from the KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi's revelations are gaining traction, with both the Public Protector and the Judiciary entering the fray. The Public Protector's office received a complaint from the African Transformation Movement. And for more on this, let's now bring in researcher, policy analyst and human rights activist Nkosikhulule Nyembezi. And he joins us now via our telephone line. Nkosi, thank you so much for your time this evening here on SABC News. Let's start off here. What do you firstly make of those startling revelations we saw from the KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, also then talking about the fallout within the South African Police Service?
Thank you very much. These are serious allegations that need to be followed by the bodies concerned to investigate them because indeed I think they are aligned with the public perceptions. They are aligned with the information that is already in the public domain about corruption and wrongdoings in a number of institutions, including the judiciary. We do know that these are serious allegations, and there are few people who are likely to come out and make such a revelation because of the danger of the nature of this. And so for a top official to say that, it needs action.
And I mean, Nkosi, we also then saw, the Chief Justice, Mandisa Maya, also coming into the fray and also weighing in on some of these allegations, calling for people with any information to come forward with the evidence when it comes to also the allegations being leveled against the judiciary. What are your thoughts of now the judiciary also entering the fray of corruption?
As I say, it doesn't look like it's something new. It is something serious that needs investigation. We know of reports from the research that, first of all, I want to say, it would be incumbent on the judiciary to investigate these cases. We would have loved to hear the judiciary saying, we've approached General Mkhwanazi, we've approached so-and-so, and made an appointment for them to provide us with further information instead of appearing to be standing on the sidelines and waiting for the person who's making the allegations to come forward. For example, we know that the complaints and allegations to bodies like the Judiciary Services Commission and others, they must be made in a prescribed form. It's either a sworn affidavit or a sworn state. It's an affidavit or a sworn statement. But if somebody complains by way of a letter, it doesn't mean you just write back to them or and say, no, your complaint was incomplete or is not in a prescribed way. You need to reach out to them to make sure that they do it in a prescribed way, and what I'm calling proactiveness. And I also say there has been research output from institutions like the DCRU at the University of Cape Town, showing that magistrates are concerned about corruption and bribery, also emanating within the magistrate. We've also seen the killing of NPA officials in places like Ngobo, where there is also magistrates, in Pietermaritzburg, and those cases remain unresolved. What General Mkhwanazi said was that he had helped the members of the Gauteng unit by seconding officers from KwaZulu-Natal to go and assist there. And one of the basis of the request that came his side was that there was interference, including from the judiciary, in the investigations. And he did say that he had downloaded messages from a suspect that revealed these things. So it does mark that there is a starting point which needs to be followed.
And I mean, of course, looking at even, your opinion piece, when it comes to, some of the thoughts being seen from the country's judiciary and magistrates as a whole, when it comes to intimidation with the cases that they are dealing with. At the same time, these revelations which we are seeing, and also, where does it leave the credibility of the country's judiciary when we see a very senior police officer in the country also then singling out the judiciary? What does it mean for the credibility of the country's judiciary?
The credibility is already in tatters because, as I say, there are several cases of the killings of the officials, whether it's NPA officials, it's magistrates, you name it. So to the extent that those cases remain unresolved, and in terms of the research, there are magistrates who seek transfers, either from a case they've been handling because of these difficulties about corruption and death threats, or they seek transfer from one office, magisterial district, to another because of the consistency and the persistence of these threats. That is not something new. So it does mean that the revelation does not come up with something new. It just confirms what has been known. All what one could hope for is for the authorities involved to take a proactive action in revealing this. And you will also understand that the issue touched upon by General Mkhwanazi also has to do with the national task force that deals with political killings. And of course, a number of those cases remain unresolved, and some of them, they've died at the level of magistrate court, the level of high court in the initial stages. So to the extent that those the political killings are also involved, it's a concern. And in the election monitoring network reports and others, when they talk about political killings, one of the issues that is disconcerting is that few people are willing to come forward with evidence as to who did this. And therefore, it makes the judicial route to be of no great use in trying to arrest, prosecute, and convict those people just because of that threat. And so to the extent that we can nab the problem on its head by dealing with the rot within the judiciary, it suggests that we can make a headway if there is action.
All right. So thank you so much for your time. That's researcher, policy analyst, and human rights activist Nkosikhulule Nyembezi there, just giving us his insight in terms of that explosive press briefing we saw and the revelations thereof made by the KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. Airports Company South Africa has placed the Group Executive, Enterprise Security and Compliance, Mzwandile Petros, pending the outcome of investigations into allegations of operational irregularities. In a statement, ACSA says the decision to place Petros on precautionary suspension is a crucial measure to protect the integrity of the investigative process. In the interim, it has appointed Mary Ann Hubert to act to ensure continuity and maintain operational stability. ACSA says it will report back once the matter has been finalized.